So let's talk about everybody's first TTRPG session, first game.
So I see a lot of things every week. Hey, I just found a new group. Hey, I just found a table I've never played before. What should I know? What should I be ready for? What do I need to bring? What do I need to have with me? How much do I really need to know? Do I need the book on my first time? Everybody still asks all the time, hey, I'm just getting into it. Where do I start? What should I have? What do I need to do? So let's talk about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say like a big thing for me when I'm prepping for my first session of any game with a new table, aside from kind of like getting to know the people I'm gonna play with, I think is a big part of it. I definitely want to have, at least if I'm going into a new system, I definitely kind of want to have a general understanding of at least the rules and the mechanics itself.
I agree. But first, you're going to need people.
Yeah.
And for those people, we have a place for that.
Yeah. You can come see our Discord.
Yeah. Also hit the sub button because we're here. We try to be here every week. We missed a couple because transitioning and work stuff and life. And yeah. But we'll miss one every once in a while, but we're here most every week.
So it's really easy, and it actually kind of calls back to kind of like what we said in that last video we did, and I'll put a link up to it here. This is going to go very hand in hand with, as a new player too, you're going to have things you're going to want to look out for, so I figured it'd be a good idea to kind of call that video out.
And there are big differences between being ready for day one online play or day one in-person play, and different etiquette and different things to be ready with. Start with the character stuff. What do they need to have ready about their character?
Get to know the table and the people you're playing with. I think that's a big deal, because you may also be coming to a table that possibly might want to go straight from just sitting down to write.
This is my character.
Exactly.
I'm ready to play.
Have your backstory and stuff ready, which I always think is a good idea in general, to kind of just have kind of like, well, I've got this character and I want them to come from this situation, this upbringing, this is where they're from, stuff like that. And it doesn't matter what game you play, having just kind of like that little bit of backbone for that character is kind of a big deal.
I agree. It makes it easier for the person running the game. It makes it easier for the other players just to know how to interact with your character. Saying that you're a rogue that grew up as an entitled kid is different than saying you're a rogue who grew up as a orphan on the streets. People are going to interact with your character differently, and it goes a long way as far as the table interaction. Just know that ahead of time.
Role playing too is going to be kind of coincide with that pretty much directly,
right? Because
having an idea of where you want to take your character, how you want to introduce them to the other players at the table and stuff like that, are gonna kind of set up kind of like the groundwork, I would say, for like how to interact with one another.
It makes it easier to interact that way if you come to the table ready, prepared with your character, at least the theme of your character in mind and ready to go. Even if you make your characters as a group, having the theme of kind of what you want to go for and shape what you're doing into that makes everything a lot easier on not only on yourself but on everybody else too.
And the stuff that you're going to be able to put kind of like these notes and stuff down is going to go kind of like right into another big one that we were talking about. It's going to be the gear that you would want to bring to the table. A notebook, like legit.
There's three big ones. A way to track what happens with your character, usually a character sheet, and that usually provided if you don't already have one.
Or it could be completely digital.
Right, and a lot of this online stuff makes it a lot simpler. A way to interact with the game and the characters, that's usually dice. Some games use cards. Also can be completely digital. Not entirely required. Most tables have a couple spares, but you will want to have your own at some point, I think, if you're actually getting into the hobby long term. In today's age, a notebook, a cheap notebook, a pen or pencil, and a phone.
That's gonna be really good for in-person stuff too. You can even, if you just want to go full digital, because a lot of tables do this too. The one I'm at right now for SOTDL is doing that. A laptop, a small tablet's really good. You can even take notes directly in there too. A good thing that I'd recommend too, that we use, is a shared OneNote page.
Oh, OneNote
very
page
good.
Huge.
Most importantly, the one thing, it's the unspoken word of the table. Everybody knows it.
You always get bonus points for it.
Bring snacks.
And if you're going to be playing at your computer, have snacks nearby.
Yeah.
Don't get up all the time to go get them. Either bring snacks or bring, $5-10 to say, here.
Pizza is always a go-to.
Let's get pizzas, or here, go. Let's make a run to the store and go get snacks together or whatever, and make it part of the day. But
pizza and beer, man. That's why I like Sundays.
And another one that isn't talked about enough, and I give out extra credit in many different ways for people who invest more time. If you come to me with a backstory that's 3 pages long, I'm going to give you more time than somebody who comes to me with a backstory that's a sentence. There's more ways for me to engage with that backstory. You have to be prepared that it might take a little bit more time to get to your hook if you don't have more to engage with.
And that's absolutely going to kind of move into another big one for us too. It's table etiquette. People are going to play different ways. There is no, I'm going to say right or wrong way to play. There's disrespectful ways to play, sure, but there is really no incorrect way to playing a character, in my opinion. And let me clarify that meaning that you're going to have people that do like the voices, the talking and stuff like that, that are very much heavy into the RP. And you might also have somebody else that's like, my character does this, they do that, this is this. That's what I mean. There's no right or wrong way to play. There is things that you can do in character that make you a bunghole for sure, but that's also etiquette, and that's poor etiquette in my opinion.
There are 3 big etiquettes for this kind of game too, because you have your online etiquette, because it's entirely different than your in-person table etiquette. And then you have your character etiquette too, because that's a big thing. And that goes a long way as far as just the handling PvP situation. Like, part of that etiquette is if you know what game you're going to be playing, having a vague general understanding of how the game works.
Having just a general idea of how things are going to work helps a long way. And there's a strong chance that when everybody goes in there playing, both players and the guys themselves, people are going to make mistakes. It's fine. There's a couple of things you can do to kind of help alleviate that. I mean, at the end of the day, the guide is kind of like the showstopper, I would say, essentially on that. It's this way or that way. Or like, hey, I'm going to rule it this way. I don't know if that's right. We'll check at the end of the session, and then we'll look back on it and like,
we'll fix it
we'll
next
figure
time.
It out. Yeah.
Yeah. I would make a lot of mistakes when I run games.
We're human.
But it's because I don't want to have the pressure of knowing everything.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather play and make a mistake and actually get to play, because if I tried to know everything, then I would never get to play.
It can get to a point to where it can get a little obsessive, I think. And once you kind of start dipping into that realm, and there are like min-maxers and stuff like that are going to be a thing. But you don't have to be, I guess I would say, kind of like a snob to other people that aren't that way. It's okay to have different opinions about things. It is okay to play different ways. But at the end of the day, big etiquette, treat each other with respect, enjoy the game, and it doesn't matter where you're playing.
I agree. I definitely agree. And the only other thing as far as any of that goes that ever comes up is time. Scheduling
in life can be difficult. People are going to make they're going to set times of their day or their month or their weeks aside in order to spend time with their friends. I would say that it is the sooner if you can't make a session, kind of bring it to the table.
Say, hey, put it on your calendar. I ain't going to be there this week, or I ain't going to be there in 3 weeks.
Was maybe play a one shot. Maybe
you take a break from the campaign and somebody else wants to run a different game for a few weeks.
Maybe somebody jumps at the other side of the table like, hey, I want to run something for a little bit.
But there is another rule, and it's the big one.
Have fun.
And relax. Welcome to the hobby.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching us. If you'd like to listen more about the discussions, we're going to talk about some of our personal experiences and first game stuff in the long audio form in our podcast. Check it down below. And if not, stay awesome, be excellent, and love each other.
We'll catch you soon.
Peace.
Yay!